Hello there. We're back live. We're back live with Dante, and we're going to continue this sharing just for a couple of more minutes. Don't know what happened there, but it's okay. We're back. We're back. Um, and so, Dante, I think the last of what I heard, I know I can see the comments, and so you're really helping some people as you're commenting and responding. Was relative to the workspace and how in the workspace the decisions that you're making are based on what's best for Zion, what's best for your family. And I guess another question that I had for you is, what are some of the things that you witnessed from other men? Because you talked about the village, the power. You guys had a strong village, just a strong village growing up. What were some of those things that you witnessed in the village that you have taken on as a father?
I'd say the biggest is just being present. Number one, I wouldn't be able to witness if they weren't there. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think being present is the biggest. Um, Being authentic and being present as well is something that I think is very important
Mm-hmm.
um, for those situations that may have not worked out. While I can't say I was privy to details and things like that, um, you can tell when someone is genuinely excited to be a part of a partnership
Mm-hmm.
or involved with community. And so I think ensuring that there's some purpose connected with my connection to my family and to those around me is important. Everybody brings something different to the table. Everyone has
Mm-hmm.
different strengths, different weaknesses, different focuses, different skill sets. And seeing, I would say the biggest thing with them being present, those men coming together as a collective to do things as a community. So whether it was, seeing it united the young adult couples when you all would go do the date night things, like once a month. Um, Seeing, yeah, just how different people chose to be present was a big thing for me. And beyond that, though, I kind of formed from a young age my own idea of what I wanted family to look like on the basis
Mm-hmm.
of where my dreams were. I've always dreamed of being in the position I am now as a professional musician and having the opportunity to tour the world. Um, the biggest part of that dream is being able to have my family with me. So, in the situation I'm in now, while that's not the most feasible thing at the moment, is something I definitely want to work towards because I don't want to have these experiences alone. And I consider this work a part of my God given talent and my connection to the world. And so I would love to share that with my family. So I think, also figuring out ways to um, empower them and position them through the gifts and talents that I have. No different than, how you all were able to do that for me
Mm-hmm.
beyond church, ensuring I was able to go to be in places and spaces where I could be developed in certain ways. So um, I definitely, kind of took those cues from what I was able to see and learn over time. And then growing up as well, beyond, being in Chicago, having lived in a couple of different states and having some mentors and seeing how um, they operate, I was able to kind of glean a couple of things that I think would definitely work for, how to, be impactful and just ensure that my family, but as well my kid and future kids have a good community to be a part of and have that support. So yeah.
I love that you said future kids. We get more grandkids. Okay. Even early on, your exposure, um, was different than some of those that you were around. We kept you in from Merit to Blue Lake Music, even your schooling, where you may have been the only African American in certain settings, just your exposure. Um, has that been critical for you as an African American father with raising your son? Has that exposure, um, is it critical in like you're shaping your worldview of that which you want your son to be exposed to?
For sure, because I mean, you know, there are millions of communities within communities,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think the biggest thing I've learned throughout my lifetime is to be open, um, and to be slow to speak. I'm still very much a Chicagoan, so sometimes a lot of stuff I'm like I don't mess with that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna keep that on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and be observant first,
Mm-hmm.
and give people a chance to kind of show who they are. And I've learned to kind of suspend my assumptions, so that's something I definitely want to teach him. Um, and also, give him an opportunity to um, develop who he is
Mm-hmm.
without um, killing his creativity. Because I think the older we get and the more we have life experiences, I think sometimes, depending on how those experiences play out, it can stifle that creativity and that excitement to live. And I think the older we get, it is necessary for you to not only be excited about the life that you have, but to have the creative means to um, make opportunities for yourself, to think big, to think creatively, um, because sometimes the reality of what is, if we don't have the right perspective, it could just weigh you down. And I've been there before. Things get tough, things get hard. It's so easy to just live in that negative space.
Mm-hmm.
You could just live there. And
Yeah.
so what I want for him is to be able to be able to bounce back. Like, be honest, yeah, be upset, be mad, be hurt, feel all of that, but
Mm-hmm.
we can't live there though.
Yeah.
So but I don't want to. That's something I've been thinking about, just how to, relative to disciplining. Like, I don't want to stifle his energy or who he is, but it's like I definitely want to correct that though.
Mm-hmm.
So a term that's been floating around heavily within my generation is this term of soft parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the idea of that, many people have their own version of what that looks like. For many people, to me, it just seems like I just don't want to be my parents.
Mm-hmm.
when I hear soft parenting, I hear that, and I think, especially as an educator, having taught preschool through high school, you just have to be to your kids what that kid needs.
Mm-hmm.
Every child isn't going to be the same. You know, for some kids, hey, you may not need to even talk aggressively to them. For some people, it's a look. For some people, it's a conversation. For some people, I do need to physically do something. It may not even be whooping you. It could be just like putting you in timeout, taking that
Mm-hmm.
time to talk to you. But I think it's definitely necessary, just to ensure that there's some actual structure there, for sure. But having that community helps too. So,
Yeah.
from things that I learned, you and Dad may have said something, but it probably didn't click for me until Uncle Tony said something,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
Torian said something,
Mm-hmm.
or a coach when I was playing basketball, or a percussion instructor. So
Mm-hmm.
I think just ensuring that he's in communities that I vetted for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but where people have integrity and want to see him succeed. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
be the best thing that I could do for sure.
That's awesome. As we wrap this up, um, if you could leave us just with one nugget relative to your heart as a father, um, what matters the most to you as a father? for your child and even the children which are to come? What matters most to you?
That I'm here. So everybody take care of yourself, your
Mhm.
health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health. I would say continue to search on for where we are now. All of us are at different ages, different spaces, different times in our life. Um, and I'd say do that soul searching. Obviously, you're doing it because you're on this platform listening to this conversation. Four means to grow. Never stop that, because your children are going to continuously develop and they're going to change as the world changes. And so I think it's important as parents, as leaders, that we have an understanding of some of the trends, have an understanding of how we fit into them, and figure out ways that really make sense for us to continuously evolve and adjust. Because if we stay stagnant as the world's moving, we're going to inevitably get knocked over. So let's do our best to constantly evolve and take care of ourselves.
Thank you, Dante.
Thank you.
Um, I just have to tell you, as a mom, I am so proud of you. I'm godly proud, but I'm in the natural. I am proud of you and the young man that you are still becoming. I am proud of you as a dad, as I see you nurture Zion. I'm proud of you. You know how you are finding the path for raising your unique child that the Father has entrusted to you. Everything is not perfect, but you know what? Just like you said, you wanted Zion to get up. I watch your resilience. I watch how you don't stay down, but you bounce back up. You're resilient, and you keep going and you keep growing. I am proud of you as you discover even all the more the path that the Father has preordained for you. I am proud of your fearlessness. As you go into these spaces and places. I was thinking about you in Madagascar. Just some of the places you've been that we prayed about going, and we are now realizing and experiencing through you. And so I just want you to know, mommy loves you. I'm not gonna cry on here. I'm proud of you, and I'm just looking forward to what the Father has ahead for you, for Blaine, and for Zion. I love you, babe.
Love you too, Mom.
I love you. Okay, I'm praying successful tour on today. And we'll talk a little bit later. Thank you for taking this time out. Thank
Thank
everybody
you.
on the bus for allowing this as you guys travel to your next destination.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
All
love
right.
you. Talk
Bye
with you soon,
bye.
babe. Okay. Thank everybody for chiming in for this portion of A Father's Heart. Last week, I wanted to give you just a look of A Father's Heart from my husband this week. Now, remember, we talked about last week the seeds that Pastor Pope, Dr. Pope, has planted into our son. And so this is some of the fruit of those seeds and his forming and his developing. So, dads, I just want you to know that your work is not in vain. It's not in vain. It's not in vain. Keep on being present. Just don't minimize being present. You heard Dante. He said that's what he wants to be present with Zion. And that's not just physical, but that's awareness, observing, that's being involved in the life of his son and raising his son in this society, this generation. It looks different. There were some things going on when we were growing up, but it's just so bold and it's so brazen during this time and season. Fathers are important. And I'm just looking forward to the last week in this month when we do the panel of men who are going to fill through some of your questions who are fathers. And I just believe it's just going to be a blessing and it's going to help. And I'm looking forward to what's to come from this. You all have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. And we look forward to connecting with you tomorrow morning when Minister Elise is going to release our Sunday morning manna blessings for your day. Bless you.